Hello everyone, welcome to the video on Mathematics 8. Today we're going to talk about the surface area of a cylinder. So before we start, there are some important things that you need to know how to do. For example, you need to know how to find the area of a circle. And you also want to know how to find the circumference of a circle. After this video, you'll be able to calculate the surface area of a cylinder by identifying the parts of its net and applying the formula. So, first of all, let's try the example question number 1. Draw a net of a poppy can with a height of 8 centimeters and a radius of 2 centimeters. Then calculate the exact area of the net. So, first thing, I want to draw the net. Maybe before that, we can just illustrate the can. A cylinder is going to be something like this, where the radius is 2 and the height is 8 centimeters. Well, what does my net going to look like? Well, I'm going to have the top and bottom face, as always. So in this case, the top and bottom are circles. So let's draw a circle with a radius of 2, with some space between. And then the middle part is filled with the rectangular sides. Well, unlike the previous, the prisms, how do we draw the side of the net of the cylinder? Well, while it doesn't look like, what we can do is we can try to cut one of the corners of the sides, and if we expand it, it's going to look like a rectangle. It's going to be one giant rectangle. And while we know that the height is 8 centimeters, so the length is 8 centimeters of this rectangle, what do I know about the width of this rectangle? Well, it turns out that the width of this rectangle is the same as the circumference of the circle. That's the circumference of the circle. So in other words, we can apply the same formula that we have for the surface area. From the previous video, we have learned that surface area is equal to 2 times the base area plus the base perimeter times height. So let's find out the base area. Well, the base is a circle shape. So how do I find the area of a circle? The area of a circle is A equals pi r squared. So that's A equals pi times 2 squared. So that's equal to 4 pi. So we know that the base area is 4 pi. What about the base perimeter? Well, perimeter of a circle is the same thing as the circumference of the circle. So we can calculate it by doing C equals 2 pi r. And r is 2, so that's 2 pi times 2, so that's also 4 pi. While they look like the same number, the area 4 pi has a unit of centimeters squared, and the circumference 4 pi has a unit of centimeters. Now let's plug in the numbers. That's going to be 2 times the base area is 4 pi, plus the base perimeter is 4 pi, and the height is 8 centimeters. So let's multiply these. 2 times 4 pi is 8 pi. 4 pi times 8 is 32 pi. So my final answer is equal to 40 pi. 45 centimeters squared, as the unit of area is centimeters squared. Let's annotate the process. Well, first of all, we find the net of a cylinder. And interestingly, we have 2 circles and 1 rectangle. The 1 rectangle is the entire side face around that has the length from the height of the cylinder, and also the width as the circumference of a circle. And you can imagine that if I try to put the circles up like this, and then my rectangular wrap around the circle that is going to be the same as the circumference of the circle. And then we apply the same formula. SA is equal to 2 times base area plus base perimeter times height. And I calculate the base area to be 4 pi centimeters squared. I calculate the base perimeter to be 4 pi centimeters. I plug in the numbers, and I get the result of 40 pi centimeters squared. So I like to calculate each of the numbers separately, and then I plug it all at the same time together. And here in this problem, I want to find the exact area, so I decided to leave my answer as the 40 pi as exact answer like that. Let's try the next question. It's a similar problem. It's a Pringles can that has a height of 5.3 centimeters and a radius of 3.3 centimeters. And this time I'm going to find the approximate surface area of this Pringles can. Well, same similar thing. We're going to start off by drawing the situation. Is 3.3 and a 5.3 here. And if I draw the net, it's going to be a circle with a radius of 3.3. Another circle at the bottom that has a radius of 3.3. And it has the height of 5.3 centimeters. And once again, the width of this rectangle in the middle is the circumference. After I draw the net, let's use the formula. And this time I'm going to use a different formula to find the surface area of a cylinder. So if you want to use a specific formula for the surface area of a cylinder, well, it's just another way of showing the surface area of a prism formula. It's going to be 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. So it might look similar to the previous formula that we have used. 2 times pi r squared. Pi r squared is the area of a circle, so that's 2 times the area of a circle, plus the 2 pi r is the circumference of the circle, multiplied by the height, the 5.3 centimeters. So in this one, I don't have to separately calculate the area of the base and the perimeter of the base. I just need to plug in the numbers that I know of. So that's going to be 2 pi, and r is 3.3. And h, the height is 5.3. Notice that I'm using the brackets. Using the brackets when I substitute the numbers. And let's put them into the calculator together. And while I want to find the approximate number, I'm not going to use the number 3.14 to compute this answer. Instead, I'm going to use the built-in pi button on the calculator. So if I open the decimals, and the good thing about the decimals is I can exactly type in exactly as I see it. I'm going to do 2 pi 3.3 squared plus 2 pi open bracket 3.3 close bracket open bracket 5.3 close bracket. Once again, I'm not using 3.14 in place of pi. I'm using the pi button on the calculator. And I got the result of 178.32. That'll be approximately centimeters squared. So in this case, the surface area of this cylinder is approximately 178.32 centimeters squared. Let's annotate the process. Well, it's similar. I'm using the net to identify the area of the base and also use the big rectangular face in the middle. And I use another version of the formula. Okay, this formula is special. for the cylinder. So this one wouldn't work for the surface area of a prism. And then in this case, I want to find the approximate answer. And here, do not use 3.14 as pi. Instead, use the built-in number. Pi button on the calculator. It is very important that you use the built-in pi button instead of the 3.14 because it may give you an incorrect answer. And if you get an incorrect answer because you have a few decimals off, you will get the question incorrect. Let's review the vocabulary and the formula that we have discussed. So first of all, a cylinder is a 3D object with the two parallel circular faces, that circle on the top and the bottom, and it's wrapped around a curved surface. Now it's curved, but when you open up, you might see a rectangular face. One rectangle, the curved surface, the length of this rectangle is equal to the circumference of the circle on the top and the bottom. And we also learned about the new surface area formula for the cylinder. Is SA is equal to 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. Well, this formula is very useful for the cylinder, and you can use it if you want. Personally, I like to go with the previous formula, 2 times base area plus base perimeter times height, because it works for both prisms and cylinders at the same time. So if you have one spare spot in your brain, so you can memorize one formula, then I suggest that you memorize the surface area of a prism formula, and you can use it to both cylinder and prisms. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.